She didn't. Can I get a motion for the approval of the sanitary board minutes?
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the regular meeting of the Sanitary Board held October 21st.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
You good with them, Frank?
I'm sorry. Yeah, aye. Sorry.
Okay.
She gets me on that all the time.
There is nobody in the gallery for petitions or communications. So next, we're to the discussions and updates. So the LTCP Phase 5A construction update.
Start with the construction update. Contractor's been moving along pretty well. They have about 500 linear feet of mainline sanitary sewer left to install, and they have 1,100 linear feet of storm sewer mainline to install. So they're coming up on the end of getting the main line in. They still will have to drop back and do all the customer cleanouts and the drop inlets. But we're looking for them to finish up the main line install mid-December, and they're projecting by February to be done with the other work.
Thank you.
Excuse me 1 second. What did you say about the completion dates for that?
They think they will have their main line completely installed by mid-December.
Okay.
And they think they'll have all the drop inlets in place, tied in, all the customer cleanouts installed by February at the very least.
Be completely
done.
Right.
That's their current projected schedule.
I wanted to also give an update. I know last time we had a change order, and I think you even made the comment, Frank, that thought it would be bigger. Well, that's because we're negotiating a bigger change order to the contract right now. So this has to do with, as they were digging out for the new storm and sewer, we had to undercut. The material under the road was so poor from leaking sewer, leaking storms, and leaking water mains for all these years that we had to haul all that material out and replace it with stone. A lot of places we had to even use a geofabric under the pipe so it would stabilize it. Now we've been going back and forth with the contractor on the cost, but we're getting closer to that number. And we think in December we're going to be bringing that to you guys. There's probably $300,000 to $350,000 in extra excavation and stone and stuff, but we have some offsets on some extra laterals and stuff. But there will be a change order for that. There are also going to be a change order for delays that they have hit because of how we've had to coordinate things. An instance is the way we had the gas line originally shown, based on where Hope had told us, we had it kind of in the sidewalk. Well, it turned out to be right where all our drop inlets needed to go. So the way we had to construct it was they had to put the storm and sewer in first because it was the deepest, then get out of the way, let the gas company get in, lay their line, get it charged and activate, and then take the old one out. So now they got to move back and reconnect all, start the inlets. It's just a coordination thing that was hard to foresee. The contract gives us ways to do that. We haven't negotiated that one as far yet, but they are due
You
some
got
time.
contingency money to cover the
Yes,
cost?
yeah, we have contingency money and stuff. So I just wanted to give, because you had mentioned last time, hey, I thought that would be a little bigger. And then the other thing we have is we had some unsuitable material, not really unsuitable, it was actually down by the gas station, hazardous material we had to haul off. We had to have extra inspection and stuff there. And our inspector has been longer. So we should have a lot of those costs at the December meeting. I just kind of wanted to let the board know it was coming
You
and
think
stuff.
we'll have a change order to vote on in December? Or just
Yes, yeah, we'll have at least one. I don't know if we'll have the other one figured out yet. Like I said, there was delays when we trying to find out where the fiber optic cable was early on and stuff like that. But just wanted to give the board a heads up on that
Okay,
it's coming.
thank you.
Yeah, okay. B, this was the long-term control plan, Phase B. This was the project we talked about last month where we approved the engineering agreement that we're focusing on the plant. We will have to head back to infrastructure probably December 10th for a cost and funding change. We think the project will now be about $4.8 million, which is down from the 6 originally because we're not doing the Mount Pillier part of the separation. Basically, we are looking at funding that through a $250,000 ARPA that we've been using already, probably about a $3.5 million loan and $1 million debt forgiveness project. I've ran the numbers with David Shriver. You can support a loan that's a little bigger than that even, but remember you got Ferry Street coming sometime in the future as well.
Existing rates will cover it then?
Yeah, the existing rates according to what David sent me last week. So, but we have to go down. Now, the kickers there, we're eligible for the $1 million in debt forgiveness, but if the DEP, the funding agencies think you can support it all in loan, that's where they're going to try to push you. So what we want to do is say, well, we could support more in loan, but remember we got Ferry Street coming, which is a project that Drew and them need to get done based on what we have found. And so we're going to try to protect and get as much grant money as we can and stuff and fight it out. So just wanted to give the board that we would be supplying or revising our application to IJDC on December 10th with that project. So, okay. You're up, Tim.
I'll give an update on the Arlington Sewer Extension. We finished addressing all of Army Corps' comments on their 95% design review. We've sent them 100% design back. And I want to thank Tim for helping us out with the rights of way, the easement language. We've been working on getting some of those. Right-of-way agent's been out there sporadically. I think he's been doing about 3 days a week, trying to get some of those tracked down. And that's on the contract that Army Corps is funding. On the contract that DEP is funding, we had to submit a revised planning document to them. They've got that in hand, and we expect comments back this week. And while they're looking at that and reviewing it, we've been trying to finish up the design on that phase.
Again, what is the Army Corps funding?
They are funding all of the new gravity sewer to serve all the customers in Arlington.
Okay.
And DEP's contract will fund the lift station and the force main to pump it back to Clarksburg system.
Next, we'll go on to the contractor pay application number 9. Do I have
Madam
that?
Chairman, I have the
Perfect.
copy of the pay application, and I make a motion that we approve application number 9 for Main and Pike Street utility improvements to independent enterprises in the amount of $941,404.29.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have the Thrasher invoice.
Want to take that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I got the invoice for Thrasher in the amount of $20,000. Make a motion to approve the invoice for Thrasher for $20,450.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there anybody that has anything to report? I know this isn't a regular meeting.
Yeah, just one thing real quick.
Okay.
We held the Wolf, our portion that we're building for the Wolf Summit Energy is out for bid. This is the mainline extension agreement we worked on. We had our pre-bid meeting last week, had a pretty good turnout. Our recommendation, we're planning on opening bids on December 9th or at December 4th and making a recommendation at our December 9th Sanitary Board meeting next month, moving into the contract. My goal is to award it before Christmas. Remember, we're trying to beat the one section from Menard's Restaurant to the Red Caboose and up Joy Street a little bit, because that's where the DOH is going to be paving come April 1st. So we have a milestone for those guys to be done by March 1st. If it spills over a little bit, we'll still
You'll
be
have the
okay.
bid to award the next meeting, you're saying?
Yes, I want to have the bid to award. Now, part of this was, remember, we're not paying for it. The Wolf Summit Energy is paying for it. So I called the money guy we've been dealing with, Jason Blake, and said I would be able to tell him probably December 5th about what the budget would be. I would guess, I told him I think the sanitary board's going to want to see that money in their account before we sign a contract and turn that, because then all of a sudden we're going to be liable for that. So we want to make sure the money is there in our
You think
account.
they'll have a problem? You don't think if there's a no-brainer that they'll cover whatever the cost is?
I think it's a no-brainer. He said that his only is something over $1 million, which I think it will be. It takes 9 or 10 days or something to get through their process. And I said, well, let's keep closely informed so I can inform the sanitary board on the 9th. But what I told him we would want to do is take the contract price that we received, the low bid, plus a 10% contingency is what we would like to have deposited in our account. If we don't spend it all, we will return it to them in accordance with the agreement. So, but we plan on December 9th making a recommendation to the board, and we'll have that on the agenda if all goes well with the bidding. Okay? Thanks.
This is the report's opportunity, just a few things to tell the board. Just following up on the Wolf Summit, they are represented by competent and experienced PSC counsel that understands the fiscal obligations of the developer, so I'm confident.
One thing I'll just add, they closed on their permanent financing, I think, last week. So that's what we were told in a meeting.
We have, I've drafted 67 of the 68 easements for the Arlington project. One is still up. We've got to do some mapping to figure it out. The DEP permit negotiations that we've discussed previously are, I would say, not going well. They've made their counteroffer, which is not one that we would accept. It continues the risk that we have with regard to our CSO discharges. So we'll meet with them again in December and see if we can get this over the hump. If not, we'll go to the Environmental Quality Board and explain the law to them. Finally, in Summit Park, the Public Service Commission staff and the administrative law judge has exempted us from all the financial analysis that would otherwise be required. You'll recall we asked for that exemption. One exception, they want to see the journal entries that we'll make when we take the Summit Park utility on. I've worked with Drew and Kim, and I think they're okay with that requirement. So we won't contest that order, and we'll provide them with what we think are the journal entries. Subject to questions, that concludes my report.
Good job, Tim.
Thank you. Anyone else? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Are you okay for adjourn?